memories of 1960? The weather wasn't great, was it?
Oh, it was an atrocious night. It was just rough, and nobody seemed to know where they were going, and nobody knew whether it could be done. You just started, hope for the best, and nobody put a man on the moon before then, and nobody knew if you could finish the parish walk.
Where was the idea born?
It's probably Arthur Curry, Johnny Quine, yeah.
I'll move along, you seem to be able to answer. Who was?
Arthur Curry, Johnny Quine, Larry Sykes, little Fatty Brown, little Eric Brown, the motorbike, and they're the ones that really... And Gerald Bright. Well, Gerald took us off there. That's going back over the years. But they were the Manx Athletic Club, you see. And I've talked to a few people there, and the highlight you got... Graham was saying you could see this light at Patrick Church on the corner, and there was a Mrs. Quirk, and she had a house there, and I'd never seen such a spread in my life of food. He wouldn't leave it, this fella. It was old. I knew the island, but I didn't know what to let myself in for. And I had ammunition boots. And I worked for the Parks Department. It was in April, and that time we were getting the plants out, moving around, and I think we finished at 5 o'clock or something. Went home, put my feet up, washed them, and went down at the St George's Church, ready to start off.
Yes, the likes of Herbie Cannell and a few of them said, we're going to organise this race, and I thought it would be easy actually. I'd been in the Manx Athletic as a runner before that. I thought, oh, walking, it's got to be easier than running. So off we went. I got as far as Ramsey the first year, so I was quite pleased, but there we go. I eventually finished the course in 1962, but it took me nearly 24 hours. And I take my hat off to the modern day walker who does it in something like 15. I just don't know how they did it. I caught up with Michael and Alan Kohler on the slot, and they had wash basins out from the back of the van. The husband's sitting there and the wives washing their feet. So it was very homemade. Very
Hopped off and went to the Solby River and had a bath. I did.
And over time, I'm sure they've been embellished a little.
We just took it on the day, entered on the day, and it was all a bit of fun really to start. We had no backup or whatever. We just took it as it was really as it comes. The first parish walk when I was 16, we sue an 18, myself and Henry, my brother, we sue an 18-acre field with a fiddle of seeds now, we're talking, with a fiddle, which no one will know well about. And we got in the house, just had a bit of tea, whatever was going really. 6 o'clock, and went to the garage, 7 o'clock to start. Before I bought a brand new pair of shoes, which yeah, I did, yeah. And then, as Graham said, with a wet night, and of course the shoes just shrunk. You know what I mean? They were size 8s, but become size 10s. And
I was an officer cadet in Derby, doing national service, training to be an officer.
So fit as a fiddle?
Not really, no. I was just young, fit. I did a little bit of running, but hardly any training, even for that. It was just the fitness of youth, really.
Somebody came to you and said, we're going to try and do 85 miles in 24 hours right round the island. You must have thought they were balmy.
Well, nobody gave me information. I think I saw...
Just as well.
I think I saw it in the local paper, and I'm always up for a challenge, so I asked my CO if I could do it. So it wasn't planned. I think I only entered about 2 days before the event. No drink, no food. I was dressed in shorts, and it was cold weather. And my legs got absolutely freezing, and they seized up in the end, and that's why I had to stop, because I just simply couldn't move them anymore. It's the only race I've ever not finished, and I've done loads and hundreds, thousands of running races. So I've come back this year to try to rectify that, to finish the only race that I haven't ever finished before, and do it further and faster than when I was 50 years younger. But whether I can do that is, well, you know, with the gods.
Let's show a bit of support. That's a fantastic. I know that the parish walk is very dear to your heart, and you've hardly missed one at all, have you, in all this 50 years?
I've missed more than what you say I've missed, and Murray will tell you how many I've missed because he's the record keeper. But I'm pleased that I was in the first, and pleased that I'm still going. And in actual fact, I'm here on the stage tonight in company with Iron Men, because in fact I'm the island's worst parish walker. I was in the first, and I've done lots, but I've never been round the parish walk, so you want to get this right. I remember full well in the first one heading for Ballaugh, when Bernie May overtook me, in inverted commas, at that particular stage, and I thought, well, that's enough. I got in the car with Father and went home and milked the cows. The parish walk is an immensely interesting thing for the Isle of Man, and in actual fact it is so Manx and so ingrained now in the psyche of the Manx nation. I think it's wonderful. So if you go back before we started with the late Arthur Curry and all the rest of them, they were there. But in 1958 there was a lady called Dr. Barbara Moore who was walking from Land's End to John O'Groats, and in fact one Saturday night at the Majestic Hotel, at the Saturday night dance, the conversation got round to any idiot could walk from Land's End to John O'Groats. It's not very far, so you should be able to walk round the TT course. And the late Bill Kelly had recently won the London to Brighton race run. And my best man, who now lives in Alaska, at midnight when the dance was over, we went to the grandstand and simply dressed as we were, started to walk the TT course and walked round about and got in the van and went home. Now that was 1958. Dr. Barbara Moore walked from Land's End to John O'Groats, and 1960 we had the parish walk underway. And I pay the biggest tribute of the lot, not to those that necessarily do it, but to the organisers who've been prepared to put it on for idiots like us who just enjoy doing it.
1960, when did you first hear about this idea?
Before, everybody off the hill, overcoats on, walking.
Yeah.
And to put the facts right, I was the first one to lead to Kirk Michael on the very first one.
That's 50 years ago, and he doesn't forget.
This young man here said, walking in shorts. Walking in shorts were never heard of then. Long trousers, boots, pack-a-macs. Oh my God, different again.
With the first finisher, as you prefer to be called, yeah? First finisher stand.
What I did, and I didn't care whether people walked past me or anything. I never bothered. I just walked pace, and that was it. At the start, I went into the start, and all I had a pack-a-mac rolled up in my hand, and a few sandwiches in my hand. And I had nobody to look after me or anything like that. I never bothered with that. And the pack-a-mac didn't last very long, because after the thunder and lightning, everything, all the buttons had flown off, so I threw that away. And I was just fortunate enough to be the first person to finish. And I said, out of little acorns, mighty oaks do grow. And this has been the most emotional experience I've ever had in my life. I'm a very emotional person, but what's hard for me is that I was born and bred on the island, and I moved away from the island in 1976, never to return. In 2005, you take this, 1976, 2005, the phone rings. Is that Stanley Cleater? Yes. He says, I've been searching for you, he says, for 3 months. My name's Dermot O'Toole. He says, I've wrote a book about the parish walk. He says, listen, I've managed to get hold of the other 3 gentlemen to finish the walk with you, but he says, I dearly love you down. We're launching the book in Atticus in Strand Street, and I dearly love you to come over to the... All those years ago, I was only part of the parish walk for the first 3 years. I started playing golf, and everything went. I had no more anything to do with the parish walk. And then I go away in 1976, and here I am, 2005, talking about the parish walk, and he said, oh my God, so I came over, and it was a very, very emotional experience.
There we are, Stan Cleater, stuff of the legend as it is now. Over now to Graham, who's going to perform the rest.
Thank you very much. Who better to cut the cake then than Stanley Cleater? Please, Stanley.